Hey guys, welcome back. In this final video, we are going to take a run through of the overall mix. Probably going to do this on the master channel because I already know that I'm happy with where everything is sitting. So let's have a look at that now. Cheers. Right, like I said, I already know from my ears that there's nothing sticking out at me that really needs a good look at. I think one of the things to consider when you make a track like this, I've mentioned it before, but in the absence of several hundred channels, including layered bass lines and kicks, mixing becomes a lot easier, and is more of a subjective choice, if you know what I mean. If you've got 30 channels running together, little resonances can add up to be a problem. But in something like this, it don't really matter so much. However, I do want to try and make it a little bit more presentable. So if we take a look at the master channel, I have been running a limiter all the way through, by the way, just to get some gain, because I've been mixing fairly quietly, which is something I always do with a track like this. And the reason I do that is because some of these instruments, the dynamic range is so big that you know, you can be talking huge variances and it's quite easy to clip constantly. So I just put a limiter on the master. It hasn't been clipping, and I've added 5 dB of gain just to bring the level up for mixing purposes. So what I is going to do is I'm going to pull in glue compressor. It's going to go first. Then I'm going to pull in my trusty alpha. Probably there. I'm going to choose the chicken wings preset because I always use that. I've mentioned it before. And I'm probably going to go for Pro Q. In the first instance. So let's switch everything off, apart from the limiter. Sorry, I'm going to keep Pro Q on because I just want to listen out for any overall resonances first, especially on this bit where everything's happening at the same time. So this bit here, where the duduk is ringing out loudest, it's not a massive issue, but I'm going to be doing a little bit of compression in a minute, and I don't want the compressor to be hitting too hard on that particular resonance. So I'm going to take it out first. It is part of the instrument's sound. It is part of the natural sound of this instrument, but you know, in the context of the mix, it might not be that beneficial. So I'm just going to take a little bit of it out. I'm just going to leave it at that. Very subtle changes. I've added a little bit of a high shelf as well, just to bring some air out. We will get some more air from the Elysia Alpha chicken wings, so I'm not too fussed about it in EQ at the moment. Oh, I don't mean to say air from chicken wings. I mean like a sense of spaciousness. So next I'm going to do some very light glue compression. Yeah, and I'm not looking at hitting the limiter at 0 dB here. This doesn't need to be any specific kind of loudness for what I want to do anyway. Now, yeah, I'm just trying to tame a little bit of the, overactive dynamic range here. Specifically this little piece here, because when it plays at a higher octave, it's actually perceived at being a lot louder. And I did toy with the idea of automating volume for it, but I kind of like the way it pokes out, because there's a constant evolution of little things happening in this mix. So I didn't do that. So alpha, when you turn this on, it's going to sound like overactive. So this is the mid-side compression. And what I tend to do with this preset, this is the one compression preset I use on almost everything. Because what you can do is you can use these thresholds. This is the mid, this is the side. You can use these thresholds just to tickle some gain reduction a little bit. And when you turn this compressor on, it always adds this immense sense of space to my ears anyway. Yeah, I'm liking that. You'll see me move my head around a bit. It's just I tend to try and get a different perspective when I'm mixing or mastering with speakers. I call this mastering. It's not really mastering, is it? It's just what I do. And the last thing I want to do is just make sure we're getting a decent level. I don't care if it's hitting the ceiling. We're kind of getting up there anyway. Check another part of the mix as well. One thing I want to check is the strings together, because these string libraries will have been recorded in different environments with different mic positions, and I just want to make sure now I've got the mastering on that we're not getting any clashing. Yeah, it's all good. Just note here, you don't need a ton of orchestral stuff for it to start sounding pretty juicy together. This Omnisphere patch it's not particularly sophisticated. It's just very well recorded. And the same, I mean, the Albion stuff, the Spitfire stuff is fantastic. But this is a very simple sustain patch. It's not massively scripted, or it's not legato or anything like that. But they can start, you only have to layer a couple of things together for it to start sounding pretty good. And that's the kind of takeaway I hope you're kind of realizing from this. We've got 13 channels, but it can sound huge. Now, obviously, for my ears, I'm starting to hear more drums and stuff because it went down that trailer cinematic route rather than just being a generalized ambient track. I'm hearing a lot more stuff in my mind, but that would change it into something else. And you might be hearing the same thing. You want to hear boom, boom, boom. The kind of thing that you hear in trailers. But that's not the road I wanted to go down here. So that's pretty much it. We're done with this track. I hope you found it useful. It's slightly different to the stuff we usually do on Sonic Academy. But I will see you guys again soon. Cheers.